An old merchant I once came across in the country of Oman. He was a rug merchant. He told me, I was casually looking at his rugs, admiring the beauty, and he told me, without me asking anything, he said, I can tell within the first 45 seconds if the customer that walks through my door is a buyer or just a looker. I said, really? And how accurate have you been? He said, in 44 years, I can count on my one hand the number of times I made a mistake. Meaning, he could accurately assess whether a person that walked into his store was actually going to end up buying something or was just looking. And he went on to tell me that it's the body language, it's the eye movements, it's the things they say or things they don't say. He couldn't really put his finger on it, but he just knew, and he was right. Same thing is true with human beings, especially when it comes to interpersonal relationships. After a while, our experience is our best friend if we only let go and trust it. In the age-old question, is education better or experience? Experience wins every time. Although both are important, experience has an edge because there are many cases where someone has learned to do something only by doing, without any education. Learn to drive, fly a plane, a small plane, etc., etc., etc. Now, I don't lie to you, you've got to have some talent, meaning if you have some basic talent, you're gonna be doing better than someone who just is naturally maybe not streetwise and just doesn't have the talent. But the point of this video is, if you pay attention, if you trust your gut feeling, if you trust your experiences, and if you are observant, you can tell if someone is sincere or not. I knew a guy who did multi-million-dollar business, and he said, in my travels I go and meet suppliers, and I just get a feeling. I cannot tell you, I cannot explain to you how, I cannot show you the methods, but he said, I just see someone, I look into their eyes, I look in their body language, whatever, and I know I can trust them. And he says, I have never been wrong. Never. And he was, again, in business over 22 years or something, doing international trade. These are people that he would send money to overseas. They could have easily taken their money and saved, what money, and disappeared. But he never was wrong because he trusted his gut feelings, and he had the street smarts, and he was observant, and just a few minutes would be enough for him to assess whether someone is trustworthy or not. And it works both ways. He could also tell if someone, something was wrong, something was not right, someone was not on the up and up. It's a gift of God if we have that talent, but to a great degree we could also learn to look for signs. There are tests that you do, when you cannot be 100% sure about your gut feelings. There are so-called acid tests that will prove to you and show you beyond the shadow of a doubt whether something is real or not. Just like they use acid to determine the carat of gold. There are acid tests that you can do to see if someone is being sincere, if someone is truly interested, if someone has goodness in their heart, or they have ulterior motives. In the modern world, if someone is willing to give you their time without really expecting much in return, and you can tell if they're expecting much in return or not. And you know they're sincere. But if someone is not and they have ulterior motive, you can tell that too. And there are ways to know that beyond the shadow of a doubt. I know that this has been rather vague, but maybe to some not. But my point was that to trust your gut feelings, because they never lie to you. Trust what you feel in your heart. When you feel something is just not right, then give yourself pause and don't ignore that doubt. And when your heart and mind tells you something is good, something is trustworthy, some situation, some person, then go with that as well. All the best.